You heard me say this before. I'm going to lead with it again. The Holy Spirit envisions a future in which we matter. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. If you haven't figured this out already, I believe that. Now, I have been repeating everywhere I go that I have the best job in the world. I say that not because I am ignorant of or unaffected by the enormous challenges, threats, and resistance that we face as we undertake this shared mission. I say that because alongside all of that, and in spite of all of that, I have the privilege on your behalf of bearing witness every day to the difference that you and we together make in the world. This articulation in word and deed of a spirit of unity and a love that is a genuine embrace of all God's children without restraint really does matter. It matters when a mission partner walks into a Syrian refugee camp in Jordan and sits down with the women there and asks them what they need that other relief agencies are unwilling to provide, but which she knows the United Church of Christ will provide. It matters when a church sells its property and reinvests $25 million of its money to build a new sanctuary on a piece of property that now will be shared with a Muslim congregation in their temple and a Jewish congregation in their synagogue. Yes, this tri-faith initiative in Omaha is trying to teach the world that love and faith unite us. It matters when two small churches in rural Indiana, Trinity and St. Peter's, become a just peace church, and because of the ties they built with communities in rural Sri Lanka, help bring an end to a decades-long civil war. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell that story. It matters when a pastor in the Dakota Association saddles up a group of young leaders from the reservation and has them ride onto the Standing Rock Reservation, where tribal elders there invite them to sit proudly on their steeds and stand watch over the assembled water rights protectors who are facing threats and abuse from armed agents of the U.S. government. It matters when boats land on the Isle of Lampedusa in the Mediterranean Sea, arriving with refugees from Africa who are greeted by Waldensian mission partners from Mediterranean Hope who have both received contributions from us to support their care for the refugee and who have traveled to our southern border in Arizona to learn more about how our churches organize themselves to care for the stranger in our midst. It matters when executive orders or tweets declare that trans soldiers are no longer worthy of service to their country, and you rise up and remind the powers to be that Jesus thinks otherwise. It matters when on the day New Mexico became a marriage equality state, a young associate pastor in one of our churches stood outside the county courthouse with a cardboard sign she handmade that simply read, "I stand ready to marry you." And when 2 weeks later, she and her senior pastor had performed over 90 same-gender weddings, and the county clerk secretary started handing out the business cards of those pastors to the same-gender couples who came in to get their marriage license. It matters when a nation and a religion wrestle with their ongoing investment in whiteness, and you collectively agree to confront that now with 3 different curricula, one called White Privilege, Let's Talk, and 2 called Sacred Conversations to End Racism. And it matters, as I saw happen 2 weeks ago in the Minnesota conference, when you pass a resolution calling for reparations. It matters when children are kept in cages, and when our government overnight sends its resources into the homes and the churches that we have claimed as sanctuary and starts tearing families apart and dropping them across a border with no resources and no regard for their ongoing health. It matters when a young woman who had never been to church before walks into one for the first time only 2 weeks after she came out to her parents and sees the pastor wearing a rainbow comma. And because of that, 6 months later is baptized at her confirmation. What you do matters.